Welcome, dear viewers. Today, we delve into an uplifting exploration of other side of storms in life through the lens of 2 Corinthians 4, 8, 9. We all face storms in life, battles that test our faith, our resilience. These struggles, these challenges, they shape us, mold us, but through faith, through resilience, we can emerge stronger, wiser, more compassionate. This video will guide us through these storms using the framework of 2 Corinthians 4, 8, 9. Stay with us as we embark on this journey of faith and resilience. Life, as we know, is not always smooth sailing. There are moments when the breezy, sunny days of our lives are overtaken by dark clouds, and we find ourselves in the middle of a storm. These storms are not the physical tempests that batter our homes. They are the metaphoric tempests that batter our hearts and minds. Picture yourself on a boat in the middle of a vast sea. The sky is clear, the water's calm. Suddenly the wind picks up, the sea churns, and the once clear sky is now a terrifying palette of grays. This is a storm. In life, these storms manifest as loss, disappointment, failure, heartbreak. They are the testing times that challenge our faith and resilience. Let's consider the storm of loss. It might be the loss of a loved one, a job, or a dream. The initial shock hits like a rogue wave, threatening to capsize your boat. You feel adrift, lost in a sea of grief and uncertainty. The storm of loss is a harrowing experience, one that leaves you feeling desolate and alone. Or perhaps the storm is one of disappointment. You've worked hard, given your all, only to fall short of your goal. It's like navigating through a storm, believing you're nearing the shore, only to realize you're still far off in the distance. The disappointment can be crushing, like a relentless downpour, leaving you soaked and shivering in self-doubt. Maybe your storm is failure. Despite your best efforts, you've tumbled, stumbled, and now you're at a standstill, battered and bruised. It's akin to battling a fierce storm, struggling to keep your boat afloat, only to be thrown overboard. These storms of life are inevitable. They are the turbulent times that test our mettle, shake our faith, and sometimes leave us feeling broken. But here's the thing about storms. They are not a permanent state. They come, they wreak havoc, and then they pass. The sky clears, the sea calms, and once again we find our way. But remember, storms do not last forever. Just as the sun always rises after the darkest night, so too does hope shine brightest after the fiercest storm. In the face of life's storms, we find solace and strength in the Word of God. Now let's delve into the heart of our discussion today, verses 8 and 9 of the second book of Corinthians chapter 4. These verses read as follows: "We are hard-pressed on every side but not crushed, perplexed but not in despair, persecuted but not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed." There's a profound depth to these words, a depth that resonates with the human spirit in times of struggle and strife. When we examine these verses, we see a vivid depiction of the human condition. We're often hard-pressed on every side, facing challenges and obstacles that seem insurmountable. But the Word tells us that we are not crushed. We may feel the weight of the world on our shoulders, but we are not flattened. We stand, we endure, we rise above. Similarly, we may find ourselves perplexed, confused by the turn of events, puzzled by the trials we face, but we are not in despair. Despair implies a loss of hope, a surrender to the circumstances. However, the verse reassures us that despite our confusion, we are not without hope. We are not defeated. There may be times when we feel persecuted, targeted, and singled out for difficulties, yet we are not abandoned. We are not forsaken. The Almighty is with us, providing comfort and guidance in our most trying times. And finally, we may be struck down, toppled by the winds of adversity, but we are not destroyed. We may fall, but we rise again, stronger and more resilient. In essence, these verses from 2 Corinthians 4, 8, 9 serve as a beacon of hope, a source of strength that reminds us of our inherent resilience and the divine support that we are blessed with. We are assured that no matter how stormy life gets, we are not alone, and we will not be overwhelmed. Indeed, there's more to our storms than the chaos and hardship. So let's keep sailing, knowing that calm seas and brighter days lie ahead. The storm is not the end, it's just the beginning of a new, stronger you. So, what lies on the other side of these storms? You might be wondering. Well, the answer is not as elusive as it may seem. Imagine for a moment that you're a sailor. You're out on the open sea when suddenly a storm descends upon you. The waves are crashing against your boat, the winds are howling, and you're not sure if you'll make it. But you keep pressing on, you keep sailing, because you know that the storm won't last forever. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the storm calms. The sun peeks out from behind the clouds and the sea becomes still. You look around and you realize that you've made it. You've weathered the storm. You've come out on the other side and you're stronger for it. That's what it's like to face and overcome challenges in life. The storms we face, whether they're financial struggles, health issues, or relationship problems, can feel overwhelming. They can make us feel like we're being tossed about on a raging sea with no end in sight. But just like the sailor, we have the ability to weather these storms, to come out on the other side stronger and more resilient. These storms teach us lessons. They show us our own strength, our own resilience. They force us to grow, to adapt, to become better versions of ourselves. They strip away our illusions and reveal to us our true selves. They are not setbacks, but stepping stones to a stronger, more resilient self. So, the next time you find yourself in the midst of a storm, remember this: you are not alone. You are stronger than you think. You have the ability to weather this storm, to come out on the other side stronger and more resilient, and most importantly, remember that these storms are not punishments. They are opportunities for growth, for transformation. They are the stepping stones that lead us to become the best versions of ourselves. So, embrace the storm, embrace the challenge, embrace the opportunity for growth. Because on the other side of that storm, there's a stronger, more resilient you waiting to emerge. Remember, every storm in life is followed by a rainbow. Faith and resilience, these are our anchors in the storm. Let's consider the story of Sarah, a woman who faced a sudden life-altering illness. Sarah was a vibrant, active woman full of life and laughter. One day she woke up to a reality that was starkly different from the one she had known. She was diagnosed with a severe illness that left her with limited mobility and constant pain. Yet, in the midst of her struggle, Sarah demonstrated the power of faith and resilience. She held on to her belief in God's love and mercy, even when her physical reality seemed to contradict it. She was pressed, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair. Sarah embodied the message of 2 Corinthians 4:8-9, rising above the storm of her circumstances, held aloft by her faith. Or consider the story of John, a man who faced financial ruin after his business failed. His life felt like a ship tossed in a tempest, with waves of debt threatening to pull him under. But John, like Sarah, held strong to his faith. He believed that God would provide, that he would make a way even when there seemed to be none. John was struck down, but he was not destroyed. His resilience, fueled by his faith, became his lifeline. These stories are but a few examples of faith and resilience in action. They remind us that our faith is not a passive state of mind. It's an active force, a resilient strength that helps us navigate through life's storms. It's the ability to say, even though I'm hard-pressed on every side, I'm not crushed. Even though I'm perplexed, I'm not in despair. Even though I'm persecuted, I'm not abandoned. Even though I'm struck down, I'm not destroyed. Through these stories, we see the embodiment of 2 Corinthians 4:8-9. We see that our faith, combined with resilience, can carry us through the fiercest storm. We see that we are stronger than we think, more resilient than we believe, and more loved by God than we can possibly comprehend. Through faith and resilience, we can indeed weather any storm. As we come to the end of our journey today, let us bow our heads in prayer. May we find strength in our trials, resilience in our struggles, and unwavering faith in our hearts. We hope this exploration of life's storms and the strength found in 2 Corinthians 4:8-9 has provided insight, inspiration, and a beacon of hope. May you find the strength to weather your storms and the faith to see the rainbow on the other side. Kindly like, comment, share, and subscribe.